Okay, so today I'm gonna share with you guys my trading view setup. I will show you how I follow like my list of stocks that I watch. And the new thing I recently started to do is kind of correspond the weighting of each one and why it's important. It's mainly because sometimes I miss the big move, especially now in California time. I have really hard time waking up. So I've actually been missing out on all the big moves I've been waiting for where the market conditions align. And this market like went up so much. Either you can buy the market or you can like when the market's choppy, you can kind of gauge which sector and which index is the strongest. And for that, I have kind of like the main ETF. I have the semiconductors. There's also the XOXX. Um, and the difference in this is it's from different companies, so the weighting is different. And there's the ARK ETF I like to watch for technology. It's very different weighting than your large caps. RSP. What did RSP do today? Ooh, can't talk. Oh, it did this. Okay, great. And then the IGV, which is your software sector. And then there's also Remix, which is rare earth. And then there's UFO for space sector. And there's biotech, which is the other tech sector. This is mostly your like NVIDIAs and stuff. Oh wow, this came perfectly to here. Interesting. So most of the time I trade the tech sector. So I'm looking for alignment across all the tech stuff. XLI, XLF. Oh, finance was kind of sold off today. And then healthcare. Oh, it got a massive buy at the end. I kind of missed this reversals. I wasn't watching too many things, but that's why it's really important to organize them. Because once you know which ETF is, like say Remix is up 5% today. So you can be like, instead of focusing on a sector that's minus, you can be like, okay, I'm gonna wait for a pullback into the strongest sector at a reasonable level, maybe like 1 day volume weighted average price. And then within that sector, you can go in and look at Remix, which is basically made up of. This is just like how I like to look at the stocks and what kind of makes sense. So this one, I did trade this the other day, but I got really screwed over by the. I bought MP when it was. So oh my god, I had like the worst luck with this. I bought CRML because it was up 14%, and then the rest of it rallied, and then it didn't. Ideally, I would have liked to buy the ETF, but it's not very liquid, so I don't did that. And then the MP and this went up, and I was like, okay, if it does come back, I'm making a bet that even though like the remix kind of looked like it was kind of donezo, but it was around this level, and then I was like, okay, if since a stock that has gone up before has a really good chance that it's going to get bought again, especially when the entire sector was up like 4 something percent and this specific stock was up something. So I took a bet that this was not going to go like this was actually just going to go up to at least the average volume weight from the high, which is this dashed red line. And then I also have my time wise because I'm really bad at marking new stuff, but you could take a bet that it will at least go up to a certain amount before selling. And if it fails to do that and it sees a huge flush, then you can get out. So what happened, I kind of bought at high price here because I was thinking about buying it, and then it popped up, and then I think my positioning was really bad that I bought it around here, and it went down. I held it, and then it went up, but then like because of the difference of not having 10 cents, I couldn't get out because I was worried the spread would kick in because it was really low spread. So I was really worried to just sell it in the thing, and then it came down, and then I actually sold for a slight loss here because I saw that it was kind of more weak And then later it did go up to where I thought it did, but I think the issue was I took too high of a position too early, and I was really just worried about the spread, right? Like, I think if my drawdown would have allowed me to hold for longer, I would have held it and even added, but like, there is a limit of max drawdown, and a lot of the times that has screwed me up where I get literally ticked out at the bottom and then it goes where I want. So I just got out of it, especially with the spread. And then it did go up. If you missed this one, this would have been a good time to buy it again, because this push lets you know that there was buying, and then if they're not done completely buying, there will some sort of be another buy. So that would be like what you would risk off of. And then later it sold off. I didn't trade it then because I was like, this thing traumatized me because of the liquid thing. But this is just one example. You could also do the same thing with UFO, which is your, I'm actually looking for this sector to come back. Looks like it came back here. I tried to do like small caps, and every time I try to do it, it just doesn't go my way. Or I get really bad fill, so then I stop trading it. And then the day I don't look at it, it does amazingly. Same with Oklo. Like, I think what happens is I look at it the day it makes the huge move. Like, I tried to trade this back here when it first popped off, and I was like, okay, it's starting to make a comeback. So I was expecting it to come up, but it was just not doing the move. It wasn't even this day. Like, rest of the day it did fine. It was like the day this was not the day I traded it. I think it was around this or this. I don't know when it was, but sometime here the nuclear stuff got some sort of buying, and it was starting to have a good day. And then after that one thing, I just don't look at it again because I got wrecked by the bad fill. But then ever since then, it's like done the move really well. But then I don't trade it anymore because I'm like, I got screwed over by this thing. I don't think it was this day. But there are some days like that where it's like, okay, it should be going up. Maybe it'll go up, and it just refuses to. And then the next day, I'm like less confident about it. Like, maybe this could have been like the thing too. I didn't watch it, but I had really high confidence that this stock was gonna go up. But I don't have a swing account, so. See, it's been massively sold since here, this all-time high, and then it's just not a good time to buy. Sold every time it comes up here. People got out, and then this was really low, and then it popped up, and I think it saw like was trying to buy one of these days, and it just didn't work. And then now I think the narrative has slightly changed, and it's seen a huge push here. So if it holds this level, the nuclear sector could finally be looking to go up. The nuclear AI data power thing like this one popped up, and it's still got bought. So it might have a lot selling, but I think they had a partnership with a big tech company recently, and people are more optimistic about it again after the massive profit taking. And honestly, this would have been a good one to watch an eye on. It had an all-day runner, but after like one terrible experience, I don't look at it again. Like, same with MP, I got screwed over, and then I didn't look at it today because I was like, I got really screwed over by the remix. This was like, it has to have some news. I was pretty confident that it would get bought, but due to the fill and whatnot, and then today when it did come back down, or like it had a pullback, I think I woke up pretty late, so it had done the stuff, but I did not trust. I did see it right here. I was like, this could be a good time to buy remix, and then it did go from here to here. Could have taken that trade, but by the time I saw it, it popped up here, and then this is the risk you take. It's kind of big. Yeah, so with this less liquid ones, if you get a bad fill, you're pretty much screwed because it moves so quickly. So that was the one. And then, as I was saying, sometimes with these you can look at UFO. Okay, I got off track, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do my ARK ETF one. So basically, if you look at the ETF, you can also look at NASDAQ. And then if you take a look at the top holdings, usually the top 25 holdings, it tells you a percentage of weighting within this ETF. So if you have overlaps between this and NASDAQ or MAG 7, you can also use that to kind of gauge probability that, okay, this stock, it has a certain level which it might get bought at, and like a lot of the stocks are in there, then you can take a bet in the ETF that the ETF's more likely to go up than down, because based on half of the stocks in it, it looks like it has a probability of going up. This is specifically true if you buy it after. So ARK was really strong, and on a day like that, you don't get a huge sell off. So I don't have all the listings on the side. I'm going to add it later. I don't think I have that much time right now. But just to share a few of why I have these stocks on here, it's because ARK ETF, this is Kathy's. It's a tech stock, but a lot tech ETF, but a lot of it is focused on, this is a biotech. This is a biotech software, random consumer software, kind of crypto heavy too. Coinbase, Robinhood, Circle, like kind of the same theme, stable coin. And there's also bullish, and then there's Roku, which is more of the software one, and Roku has been doing really well. And then Tesla, which is more of a, when the Mac cap is moving and Tesla is moving, I don't really have any other thing that I look at. It's mostly like ARK because of how much percentage it has. It's like with Nvidia, SMH is 15%, 17% Nvidia, but SOXX, which is the one I normally trade, because it has the 3x leverage, is like 6% Nvidia. So you can find the weightings on here. For example, like this has a different weighting than this. So with that, you kind of know what stocks to watch out for if like the market's dumping, and if a specific one is dumping, you know what to look for. For example, today Nvidia and TSMC were up like 4%. So then that's a good day to do SMH, right? Because Nvidia was rallying, versus if you do SOXX, Nvidia is 6%, and then TSMC is not even on the top 60% of the holdings. It doesn't make the list. But right now, the stocks that are hot are like within this, like Qualcomm. Recently, I talked about it. It did a huge move. Marvel was doing well, but it looks a bit weaker right now. Intel has also been a leader, and then AVGO was sold off today. It was 7% of this. So the way you can look at that, and you can make bets in the market based on that. This was one of the stronger ETFs today, and then you can bet that sometimes this doesn't have a huge pullback. So if you like to trade stocks, for example, I missed this, but I was waiting for a pullback in ARK, and this stock did not pull back when the other markets did that much. So when ARK pulled back this much and this pulled back here, this would have been a good time to buy and risk off of maybe this area of like the average volume for Roku, since like it was up like basically 3% today, and it's bought. It didn't really see it. The first time it comes back down to this level, it will most likely see a buy. Sometimes it's not very strong, but for a really, really strong stock, it tends to be true. Yeah. And this was one of the leaders in the software-ish. It's not in the IGV, but it's something that could be in IGV, Roku, because it's similar to Netflix. Netflix is not directly in it. But as you can see in the ARK ETF, like if you wanted to take a bet, oh, the market's dropping and dropped around here, looks like things are getting bought again, you can also cross compare this with other stocks in the market and you can take a bet. Okay, market dropped quite a bit, and then this one is off sync of the market, but the stock was up 7%, so you could take a bet. For example, let's take CoreWeave. It was up 7%. Sometimes you do get wrecked by the small cap, so it's better to get ETF. But there's a lot of selling, 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 and then after some point it's buying, so then you can expect it to go up. Sold again. The second time it'd be more of a gamble because it's less, you don't know if it will go up. Sometimes it just fades. It has to be a stock that is relatively doing well on the daily as well. Like there's a lot of interest in it. I just have SMCI here because I don't know if ARK has it or not, but I just want to keep an eye on it because it's not in the other ones. Very heavy weighting. And then Palantir, it kind of just sold. It popped up a little bit and then it just massively sold. So this one would not have been the one to buy when this came here. This was the one that was flushed down and probably causing this massive sell. Because of how much Palantir weighs in here. Oh, it's only 3%, but still. Yeah, I didn't take a look at crypto. There's probably crypto that moved, either Hood or Coin. Okay, looks like Hood went up. I wonder if Bitcoin rallied at the end. So those move when crypto moves. So you can even track Bitcoin and ARK at the same time. Yep, so this got bought, and then ARK has like 20% of its weighting is kind of on the biotech sector. So you can also cross correlate like a pullback in this to a biotech pullback, and then maybe if you like to watch tech sector, you can just do a tech sector pullback, and then if you align all of those, it would be a good time to buy ARK. Not there. Tech pullback at a different thing. Like you can see, like these are not always synced, but this was synced because ARK is more heavily weighted on the biotech. I think if you time it with Bitcoin, it might be better because there's significant amount of crypto stuff in ARK. That's not it. So right here, what happened? Oh yeah, Bitcoin also got bought, but then it got sold again, not doing much, and then it got bought at the end, so then it went up again. Yeah, you would have to find, I think ARK goes really well with Tesla. So if you look at Tesla, because Tesla is like 10% of ARK, if Tesla is going up and you get a pullback in this and you get a pullback in this, and maybe you time like couple more assets in here. I think Oklo is also in it, if I remember correctly. So say you time this one, and this one. Now you have 10%, 20%, and another 3%. It's not that much compared to certain things that you can probably combine. Like this AMD didn't align, but it allows you to kind of time things based on stocks. And if your stock is in a certain ETF, you can play around it. I'm kind of curious what Circle was doing today. Okay, it seemed like it was a big mover today, so you can tell, like, if you're looking for the big mover stocks, you can just time a pullback with the ETF, and then you can either buy the ETF based on these, or you can buy the individual stock. And if multiple things in the ETF are running, it's better to do the ETF. But if things are more choppy, like this one would have been a really good one too. I didn't see it. Circle wasn't on my list. Every time I trade these, I get wrecked. So, because they move so much, I get like ticked out before it goes up. Maybe that's my sizing issue, but this one, it went up and sold all the way here. You could take another bet with this market being like, I don't think it's gonna go below that, and if it goes up, it should go up from there. and things got bought. And same thing here, you can like align with that pullback in the overall market. This doesn't always work, but I guess it was a good day for Circle. But that's how you can do the ETFs, and that's how I like to look at them. This one's like easiest on DRAM because it's the memory, and it's really hot right now. Dell was really strong. It's not part of DRAM, but it doesn't have an ETF where it's heavy weighted, but Dell has been doing really well. And then today there was a partnership, so I was looking for a pullback, but it didn't come all the way down. I missed this initial one. So this was the second one, but I already like it moved up here, so my risk would have been all the way down there. It kind of was too high because I didn't know how far it would go, but it could be something you could look at, like if you buy a leading stock, like how high can it go, and then if you buy it at a dip like this, you have to let it run all day. If it's a really strong stock, it has to be like the all-day runners. Like this one just never came back down. Every time it comes to the volume weighted average price, it bounces up. Volume weighted average price keeps going up. So lots of money pouring into Dell. I think they just had a cyber security deal. Yeah. Yeah, this was the area to buy it. I guess you could have risked off there, but then no guarantees it would rip all the way up there. So DRAM, what was it doing today? I kind of missed the huge move in the morning, so that's why I didn't feel as confident with the rest of the moves, but I guess this would have been a good time to buy. Yeah, all the moves have been happening in the morning, and this is what I was looking for today. Actually, I was looking for a pullback and then expecting to go up because the market had gone up so much with the semiconductors, AMD earnings. And then when all of them started to buy strongly, this is where it would be a good time to risk off of. You can even align it with like XLK and be like, okay, that one doesn't have a level to risk off of. Maybe SMH does. Sometimes you can risk off of those. So yeah, or you wait for like a level to form and you can be like, okay, this is gonna be the low of the day, and if it's lower than that, I'm out. If not, I'm gonna let it go. Yeah, sometimes the stocks give you level, like SanDisk had a level close by here. So if this doesn't have it, you can go off of level of these leading stocks.